What's going on? Yeah. This is a fucking Meatheads here with Luke.
Meatheads podcast.
We got the sound man, the guy that makes all the shit work.
What's up?
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Finally.
Everybody, this is Luke Liversedge. Came on for the 10th episode.
And,
really?
you know, 10 has a 1 and a 0 in it. And 1
If you add
0,
1 and 0,
you get,
it equals 1.
You get 1. Which is how many...
Conspiracy theories.
Which is how...
How many conspiracy theories are we talking about? A coincidence?
Exactly.
I think not.
Yeah.
We're talking about reptilians today, if you haven't figured it out.
And, well, what can you say? All right, but, you know, before we start the episode...
Okay, no, hold on a second.
We just suggest that you should be obliterated before you listen to this.
There's no sense in listening to this sober.
So you really need to stop the podcast. And you need to roll up a fucking devil's lettuce into, you know...
Just inject it.
Use an old yak's hide to roll this fucking joint. And fucking, you know, you just smoke that shit. Because honestly, I find with a lot of this conspiracies and shit, if you're really baked, it's going to help you. It's going to help you get through it, you know. It also helps you believe, you know. Anyways.
Yeah. There's another thing you can do, too, is just get a nice cold glass and pour something delicious into it and just...
A little bit of whiskey.
Some of that sweet
a little bit of
whiskey.
Just drink it. Just get drunk.
Just get drunk.
Don't stop drinking it.
That's our recommendation.
All right. So before we actually get into the serious business, I have to ask you guys, what's the worst thing you've ever seen in a comment section, specifically like a YouTube comment section?
Well, a whole lot of racism.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
You just mean in general?
Yeah.
Yeah, just stupidity. Usually with YouTube, I look for like the like fun facts, like shit that you wouldn't know about it unless you went to the comments, and then just ignore everything else.
I don't usually dig too deep into them.
Usually I avoid the comment section entirely. But well, a while back, for some reason, I don't remember why I broke my own rule, and I read this, and I'll quote it for you. I read this at the bottom of a YouTube video. It's pretty fucked up. Fuck you and fuck your videos. They remind me of the most putrid shit that could ever be squirted out of a grown man's asshole. They're worse than dogfighting and revenge porn combined. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throat fuck your hamster and send you the sex tape.
Oh my god.
That's pretty fucking horrible.
That might be
what kind of video was that on?
I actually don't remember that part.
Oh my god.
That's fucked up.
It might have been. Kind of sticks with you.
It might have been in the process of researching for this episode. I don't remember.
But they said it's worse than revenge porn
and dog
fighting, but then
combined.
They fuck the hamster. It's just as bad.
That's literally
just as bad. It's
that's
like
revenge porn on the hamster.
It's not even his own hamster.
Leave the hamster out of it.
Yeah,
for real.
Jesus,
like fuck.
Maybe it was a video about a hamster.
Maybe
it was pretty fucking awful.
It's probably a video about a hamster. You know, I like hamsters, but I just wish they didn't fucking bite you. You know. But honestly, so to
I don't
get to
remember
the theme
ever watching a video about a hamster, though,
reptiles.
so that's the problem.
It's probably not hamsters.
I'm pretty sure the fault's on me for not remembering what this video is about, but whatever.
That was a fucking rookie mistake right there. You gotta...
All right.
No.
So I'll just say this. All hail to our benevolent reptilian overlords.
You know what?
Basically.
I don't know. I'm going to fight it until I die.
Okay.
You know? Because I think that, like, if they are real, if reptilians are real...
Then they've already got you.
But then...
You're fucked.
We could be... Wait, so let's just say here. Are reptiles separate, or did we come from reptile overlords? Were we bred by them?
We were bred to be the way we are.
If you believe in evolution, then we actually did come out of reptiles.
Yeah.
I think
In a
animals
sense.
came out of reptiles.
But did they come from the reptilian overlords?
Well, in this theory.
Yeah.
In this theory, yeah.
But
the
so we
reptile
actually
part of
were
our
bred
brain
by
was
the-
like put into us by the reptile overlords,
Right.
and it
Instead
keeps
of
us.
having just being a remnant of our evolution.
They actually
Cool.
engineered us to be basically their fucking slaves, right?
And they came around 5,000 years ago, which
Wait,
is when
5,000 years
we
ago?
built the pyramids, right?
Is that right?
I think
5,000?
so.
Dude, my
I think,
research
yeah.
said a long,
Really?
long time before that.
Well, then
There's
it
a-
still works.
there's a
We could still
figurine-
build the pyramids.
There's a figurine they found of a humanoid like lizard creature holding a baby, and it's dated back to like 6,500 BC to like 4,000
Holy
area.
fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
found
it's
that.
like some ancient Egyptian shit.
No,
you see some of the-
Mesopotamian.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sand land.
Right. So let's just talk about the physiology of reptilians. And I think you were talking about this a little bit earlier. I found this interesting little list from a website which is called Alien Hub, which doesn't actually exist anymore. It went down last year.
Is it porn? Alien
aliens.
hubs?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is alien porn.
Hell yeah.
It's even worse than revenge porn.
My favorite kind.
alien porn.
Honestly, though, some people are into it.
Actually, now I think
Alien
about
porn?
it, tentacle porn.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
dude, the thing is, aliens do abduct people and sometimes
Make porn?
not really make porn.
Do you think that would be a thing?
Do you they think they Oh
I
my
think that would be
God.
all over the internet.
Maybe that's why the
Maybe
aliens
it's
came
on
here.
their internet, but not ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
course.
thing.
That's creepy.
Do they record
fourth
it?
dimension
Because
internet.
Do you think when they abduct people, they record it? So they could like keep it for later as a documentation, or do they just like see it happen and then just be like, "Well, that's what I saw."
If they go by the same scientific method that we do, then theoretically they should.
You
They'd be
think they
recording it
would.
in some way.
You
It'd be
think
like
they
it would be
would.
like research, right? So
Yeah.
that's what, or I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I don't
They
know
just
what
got
they're
perfect brains, so they could just be like, "This is exactly what happened," rather than. But like, I'm just thinking, they do have sex with humans sometimes because some of the people that are abducted, they fucking talk about it.
The
The
Greys?
probe, the probe,
Greys?
the Greys are all
doing. Right.
into it,
That's what it's all about.
and,
And they're apparently
They-
controlled by the reptilians.
right.
Which brings us back
Well,
to
the reptiles.
brings us
Do
all.
they have penises?
Now,
Well,
I've heard that
we're
they
gonna talk
both have
physiology now.
vaginas, but one of them can get pregnant.
Oh, really?
They like
Oh.
fuck the.
so they're hermaphroditic.
They're kind of like both. They're like utilitarian almost. They're
I
like,
think that's
we're
what
just gonna make it
hermaphroditic
work.
is about. Is you
I think
have
so.
both sex organs,
I think
but you
so.
can't necessarily impregnate yourself. But yeah, so this little chart that I found, I think you might have seen it too, Luke, is let's see, a predominance of green or hazel eyes that change color like a chameleon, but also blue eyes.
yeah. So anybody, basically.
Yes.
Pretty much
Anyone
who
but
doesn't
someone
have
with
brown
brown
eyes.
eyes. Wait, so
Yeah.
don't most Asians have brown eyes?
So they must be the real humans then.
So
Well, I've
the
also-
Asians are the master real human race,
Apparently, most reptilians are white. So
right?
that's part of it.
There's
they
true
all
red.
white people, but Barack Obama's a reptilian,
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Another thing is true red or reddish hair.
huh?
Low blood pressure.
Yeah. So just like a healthy person.
Weird.
Keen
What the?
sight or hearing. Again, a healthy person. Whatever ESP means. I haven't been able to figure that
Oh,
out.
that's
Not like psychic shit. Like
yeah,
being able to
Electrostatic.
No, it's some weird. Oh, I forgot what it is.
some kind of psychic thing.
I
Like
should really look it up.
not
It's extra sensory perception. I
yeah,
think,
being able
or-
to like detect ghosts and shit.
Yeah. They're
That
because
should
they're
do it.
partly
Shit that's
on a
not
different
there.
dimension. Is what
Right.
it sounds
That's
like.
part of the theory from the fourth dimension.
Another couple of things are UFO connections, love of space and science, piercing eyes, a sense of not belonging to the human race, deep compassion for fate of mankind.
That's the little bit of a contradictory there.
Yeah.
You don't belong, but you have a deep compassion for humanity. That's a very few people
Because
would
they
fall
feel
into that
because they
category.
feel like
Like
they're
empathy right
responsible.
there.
They feel like
Yeah.
they're responsible for us.
Except
It's like-
the whole
it's like if
theory
you
is
have a
that
d-
they're feeding off of like our fucking suffering.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing.
yeah.
They are life energy, right? And
Yeah.
that's why they came here to get more life energy. But then what do they use the energy for?
I
Keep
guess
surviving?
their dimension in some way feeds off the negative energy of our dimension
Right.
in some way.
It makes sense if
Or
you
maybe
just
they
think about
literally
it.
it sustains them.
Think about it.
But then they also talk about how they're
Don't ask
after
questions.
their
Yeah.
motivations are
Stop thinking about it.
They drink blood. They abduct like fucking children and drink their blood or whatever, and
Right.
or they're after like a certain special type of gold.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'd talk about that.
Forget what they call that gold,
Yeah,
but it's
monatomic gold.
Yeah.
So, and then another couple of things that they
just
say
want
on this
power,
list. Oh
right?
yeah, power. Power is
Money,
yeah,
power.
Whatever
They
they
want
want
to be
they can
on
just
top.
get it through power. Psychic abilities, unexplained scars in the body,
Right.
capability to disrupt electrical appliances, and quote unquote alien contacts.
Couldn't anybody disrupt an electrical appliance by
Yeah.
just unplugging it?
Yep. There
Okay.
you go.
Just making sure.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah, like I could break a toaster.
So I mean, if you have any of those characteristics, you're more likely to be a reptilian.
Basically. Did you get red hair? That was one of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a strange one.
So, and okay, let's just talk about some people who apparently fit this category of who might actually be reptilians before we start talking about the
Whole
rest of it.
shitload of people.
So the website Ranker makes the claim that Vladimir Putin of Russia purposefully avoided Queen Elizabeth II at an event in 2014, claiming to quote him saying so because he had just seen her shapeshift. According to Ranker, he is quoted by another website called Strange True News. Yeah,
Okay.
Strange
to have
True
said that
News.
Let's
she
give
was
him a chance.
That she had she has a long reptile face, almost like a beak, and she is sickly gray dishwater color.
Well, I don't.
Isn't that
think,
just kind of what she looks like? From a certain
Ouch.
angle and
I
in
didn't
the,
think
in the
she
right
had a
light.
weird nose. I thought she had a pretty normal nose.
Yeah, no.
She's just an old lady, man.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
but
the
wait,
sickly
is this
gray dishwater
is,
color?
is this
Yeah.
Putin? This is experiencing what she
So-
looked like when she
so
shapeshifted, though.
This is what these. Okay, so this is one site quoting another site quoting Vladimir Putin as
Right.
saying that he saw her do this.
Right. So I believe
It's credible,
it.
yeah.
So it's all true.
Mm-hmm. That's what you're saying.
That's
It's
what
true.
you're saying is
Yeah.
that it's all true.
Basically, yeah.
Just making sure.
Wait, so that's extraordinary, though. Putin.
If
He
that's
saw a
true, that
shapeshift.
Putin,
But I've
Putin's
heard
behind
that
this,
Putin was also a
if Putin actually
shapeshifter.
believes it. Yeah, but
Well,
I thought he was a lizard. He's not on my list.
maybe
but
there's a feud.
He should
No,
be.
I feel like he is part of the resistance.
He looks like a
He's
lizard.
he's one of the heads of the freest countries on
Okay.
the world. You know, he.
Freest country, I wouldn't say.
Okay, that's too far.
No, I just mean he's like an independent, though. You know, he's kind of
Free
he's
from
a
other
dictator.
countries
He's
because
a
they want
dictator,
nothing to do with him.
But that's what they want us to think. That's our media and our governments are run by the reptiles that want us to think
Yeah,
that
if it's all
Putin-
just fake news.
and that's just because Putin, he's seen through it.
Yep.
He's seen the Queen shapeshift. He knows the fucking truth. You know.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think it's obvious. And if you don't,
Apparently, a lot of people do. Apparently, as of 2013, 4% of Americans believed this.
Really?
Yeah. And
Well, I
that was
saw 12%.
And that was 5 years ago.
I saw
well,
12%.
that's what I'm saying in 2013. So maybe by now it's
Holy
if by
shit.
now it probably has gone up.
So 12.
Yeah.
Sorry, not 12%. 12 million. So 4% might actually be right.
Well, it would have
Yeah,
gone
it's
up.
about-
It would have gone up by now.
12 million.
There's like 350
Yeah,
million
that's
or
about
something.
right. Of,
People aren't exactly getting more fucking rational down there. So I think
ouch, man.
That's
We've got
interesting,
a lot
though,
of American
thinking
listeners,
about-
so you
Do
gotta
we?
be careful about that.
Like
Well,
thinking about
I don't even know
reptilians
if we
as like
have
a
listeners,
trend.
period, so.
yeah.
Like with,
I listen sometimes.
with like alien movies were kind of what spawned alien sightings and all the craze about UFOs
and science fiction
So
novels and
it's
stuff like that.
Like a reptile. It's like a reptilian craze. That's
Well, the
going on.
origins of the reptilian theory all goes back to fucking like Robert E. Howard's shit, and him and H.P. Lovecraft and their other buddy, what's his name?
Interesting.
What's this face?
Clark Ashton Smith. Those three guys were
Right.
like all kind of wrote shit. They wrote shit with like in kind of almost like a shared universe. Like they would use buddies.
Right.
Robert's the guy who came up with the reptilians, but H.P. Lovecraft and the other guy would use them in their works as well.
Interesting.
And then people like that's where, and it's all there. Like everything from the reptilian theory is from his original work.
Right.
Like,
So you're saying
shape-shifting
David Icke
humans.
got all of his information out of a couple of novels.
Yeah, science fiction from
But
these.
probably he of course added to it and melted in like mind control and bullshit. But
Brutal.
I'm sure because
Okay, so-
David Icke
Yeah.
is a
Well,
mother-
no,
Listen to this now.
the mind control thing and the shape shifting thing and the fact that they're controlling aspects of society. That's all part of the original like science fiction by. It was called The Shadow
Right.
Kingdom.
Right. Okay.
by
Yeah.
Robert E. Howard.
That
and
sounds
it was,
like an excellent science fiction
Yeah.
title.
yeah,
That sounds metal
It
as
was. They were
fuck.
called Serpent Man. That's and
Right.
this is the guy that made Conan the Barbarian. Like he wasn't exactly
Right.
writing.
But this book was a
nonfiction.
documentary.
No,
This is all real.
that seems to be what people believe. They're like, yeah, Conan the Barbarian must be then too,
Right. Well, I thought that was a true story as well.
and all the Cthulhu
the
shit,
Jungle
True
Book,
the
stories
Cthulhu
now.
mythos.
Right.
So speaking of true stories,
Yeah.
this tabloid in Perth in Australia claims that hundreds of fans saw Justin Bieber repeatedly shapeshift on stage during his performance.
Well, there's that video of him
Yeah.
with his eyes.
Well, no, I'm not just talking about that.
That's
It's
weird.
like full on shape shifting. So of course,
Hundreds of witnesses.
Bieber, yeah, of course, Bieber has denied the claims, but we can trust his tabloid, right?
Same
We
thing
can't
with
trust
Adele. If you look, it just happened.
Yeah.
Apparently, people saw her backstage turn into like a 20-foot fucking dragon.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Holy
But
fuck.
I mean, yeah, it explains her powerful voice, right?
Exactly.
But seriously, so apparently people,
Gotta read
his
those
fans
lyrics
saw Bieber's head shrink, he grew taller, and his irises became, quote unquote, very reptilian. And now when I read this, both words are capitalized, so it sounds like maybe there's a whole another level of reptilian. I'm not sure.
Very reptilian.
Yeah.
But yeah, this basically caused some
On a
fans to
scale-
scream and run for the exits.
On a scale of 1 to very reptilian, how reptilian was he?
56.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Honestly, though, I believe it. And Roswell as well. There's thousands of people. I believe it's hundreds of witnesses that all
Wait, do you want to break down what Roswell is for me?
Roswell. We're
I've
not
heard
breaking.
of it.
Well, Roswell, it's like the
alien
crash in
in
New
the
Mexico.
50s.
Oh, okay,
and
yeah, that's
Roswell,
yeah.
New Mexico, and then there's claims that it was a weather balloon, but that we know for a fact that the pictures of the so-called weather balloon were faked and staged later on, and there was reports of like alien bodies. And
Yeah, that's how it was all originally reported. It was just like, yep, aliens. Like, it was just matter of fact.
Right.
Fucking aliens.
And then they come
were
out
like,
and they say,
nope.
"Oh shit, it was the weather
It was a
balloon,"
weather
and
balloon.
the
It seemed-
U.S. Army comes, and there was this massive cleanup. And even though there's all these accounts of crazy materials and alien bodies on the scene and everything, and there's hundreds of witnesses and shit, when there's that many people that say they see one thing, it's like, how do
you
you?
just have to start to give a little
Or
bit more
maybe it was a
credibility.
Justin Bieber fucking hologram, and that's what it was meant to do. And they just freak out. Oh shit, that's actually Justin Bieber, But like, or it was like him on this big TV screen that they have up to show everyone what's going on.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was obviously like a. Well, okay, so let's be
They're
serious
also in
now.
Perth.
It was a credible, or no.
Anyone who uses all caps is no
Yeah.
longer credible.
Yeah. So let's
This
just say
very
it was
reptilian.
this tabloid in Perth, and their credibility.
I believe it.
Yeah, maybe.
Hundreds of witnesses.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
they
but
say,
like, where
real.
are the hundreds of
yeah,
witnesses?
so they say, right? Yeah.
Hundreds of witnesses, and they all came to the same tabloid and told them about it.
Yeah. So okay, so you mentioned that Obama might be a reptilian, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
His
so an
mother was
interview
also
with
CIA.
CNBC.
A CIA whore, apparently.
Yeah, she was a
God.
prostitute. She worked for that was I think before she
That's
worked for
Alex
the
Jones
CIA.
talking for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
So,
a fact.
anyways, with an interview with CNBC, Obama shows some clearly reptilian level reflexes when he swats a fly with incredible speed. This fly
Oh,
landed
right,
on his
yeah.
hand, and he just smacked it. I saw
Yeah.
the video; it is fucking
It's
impressive.
phenomenal.
Like he actually killed the fly.
That's proof.
that landed on his hand.
You've never just killed like a mosquito or a fly or something lands on you. And
No,
you just
you know how
fly?
fast flies are?
I guess.
They'll never get hit.
Yeah, like
How
little,
often do you hit? Like I've hit a fly
like a house,
twice
house,
in my
house
life.
fly are pretty hard to hit, aren't they?
Yep.
It was a fast one too.
I feel like you can get them. I've honestly,
But
You
what-
can,
if
but
you're
you have
not,
to
he's
be,
not,
you know,
he's
it has
not
to be
even
really
look. He
good
didn't
timing.
even look. He just felt something and went like that reflexively. So it's like,
Right, and the fly didn't
No,
even
he was
know.
looking.
That's what reptiles
No,
do.
dude, I watched the video. It was kind of like him
and trust me, flies know
holding
that you're
his
looking.
hand,
They can
hovering
tell.
it over, and then like just managed to get it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah. Okay, now
Honestly,
here's the
I thought
kicker.
he caught it with his tongue.
So if you guys recall the criteria that I listed at the beginning, that little list, here's the kicker. According to this test, built from this criteria obtained from the now defunct website Alien Hub, none other than yours truly is a reptilian.
Obama.
No, me.
You? Oh, you hit all the criteria?
Well, I hit some of the criteria, and this test basically said that I had enough criteria to tell me that I'm apparently a reptilian.
Oh, there you go.
So here's the thing. The test calculated that I'm either reptilian or come from a reptilian bloodline, which is possible considering genealogically speaking. Apparently I'm descended from some Scottish royalty, so you could say that, yeah, it's probably reptilians in there.
Actually, I doubt that the Scottish royalty was reptilian. Since
they were descended from other royal families too.
Right.
So
I guess it depends where you talk about in Scottish royalty history, because some of them were basically just subjugated by the English by that point. So it's like,
sir, you need to check your history right there. That's a little bit.
Well,
maybe subjugated is not a good term.
It's not the right word.
Yeah.
They were beaten up and they had a rough wooing. But the Scottish royal family eventually actually took over England. So.
Right.
Anyways, yeah. But yeah, these following attributes that I have, they apparently were enough to tip the scales and say that I am apparently a reptilian. So I have hazel eyes that appear to turn brighter green or darker brown according to the intensity of light reflecting off of them. Right? Interesting.
That's just hazel eyes. They change. That's kind of their definition. Eyes that don't really have a set color. It's kind of like a...
No, Luke, I'm a fucking reptilian.
Are you sure that he's just a reptile?
No, it must be.
My hair is a light brown that can sometimes be considered a dark red or dark blonde. Obviously, reptilian.
Mm-hmm.
I have keen eyesight and hearing, at least for now.
So do I. Oh, wait. I had laser eye surgery.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Maybe that turns you into a reptile.
Yeah. That was
I have
the
an
last.
enduring love for all things space and science, and by all accounts, I have piercing hours. Or at least I've figured out how to do the death stare pretty well. Yeah.
I like to think my eyes are piercing.
Yeah, I can certainly glare real well.
I hit a lot of the categories as well, especially like fucking.
Oh yeah,
I have a bit of a red
deeply
beard
concerned. Oh yeah, you've got a red beard like nothing else.
Low blood pressure.
I don't know how to know if I have low blood pressure.
I don't know if I have any unexplained scars, and that's just a weird qualifier as well. I don't really get that.
And apparently, like, me being deeply concerned with the fate of humanity and compassion for those of the human species
got a little bit of that.
Is a qualifier.
I'm pretty sure, if you're just a regular person, you should have a little bit of that in you.
You've got a heart. Basically, yeah.
Love of space and science, though, is pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, apparently I'm a giant space lizard.
There you
and
go.
apparently Luke is, too.
Which one, though? Which?
Justin,
I'm sure I'm on there. I got
well.
a number of those.
They can't all shapeshift.
I think most people that we know qualify on a lot of those.
Yeah, basically.
Like, that's the thing. It's so broad. But that doesn't explain fucking celebrities' skin changing texture,
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton's eyes
is a lizard.
Yeah, if you haven't fucking seen the video.
And according to all accounts in these theories, a higher ranking lizard than Bill Clinton, which is interesting.
Right.
Don't know where that comes from.
Right.
Yeah, no,
I think it's because
I do
she's
have
more
some
evil.
explanations for that.
Just because people hate her more.
We gotta go with the flow here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so back to the physiology of these reptilians is apparently they can grow to 8 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
They
the biggest fuck.
They have webbed hands with long, sharp talons. Can use psychic communication among themselves. And, this may also be the root of their ability to access the astral plane and thus affect human dreams.
Right.
The astro plane?
Astral.
Right.
Like astral. ASTRAL.
Astro boy. Yeah. Okay.
Makes sense.
That's some fucking magic shit.
Yeah. All this they do to create an emotional field of trauma around humans. And like you were saying earlier, this is what they feed off of.
Yeah. That seems to be the general consensus, is that they feed off of, like, conflict, greed, jealousy, all the negative emotions.
I was gonna ask, like, is it possible that there, some people could say, aliens exist and I don't want them to be real, or aliens exist and I do want them to be real. So with the reptilians, we fucking don't want these motherfuckers around.
Nah, I wouldn't say so. Yeah,
they're not. They don't sound like a good, Well, they're not here for us.
To answer your question,
but why do they care about humanity?
To answer your question,
because they need us to feed.
If aliens exist,
it's like
but they are malevolent, we have to recognize that they are real, because then we can deal with the problem.
Right.
But
then, like, you could just say, like,
if you're in denial, then you will never solve the problem.
Right. Yeah. No, you have to. If they're real, you got to admit that they're real.
Yeah.
But then you can debate whether they're good or not.
Yeah.
But I think they sound like a bunch of fucking assholes, and we need to fight these motherfuckers. I think it's the Nordics that are good ones. Like the Greys, not your friend. The Mantid
Are
motherfuckers.
we talking about reptilians? Or
Different
are we talking
kinds of
about
aliens. All aliens. All, you know, the reptilians.
The reptilians are aliens, according
Right.
to, you know, all.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple different things.
So here's
According
the
to my
thing, though.
sources.
It's like,
right.
Yeah.
so either reptilians are master shapeshifters, or some people have suggested that they are other dimensional beings beyond our own, and that they project their presence into this universe by manipulating and controlling the human sensory experience.
Right, that's David
with
Icke.
their minds.
That's David Icke, right? Because he
Yeah.
was saying it's not about what's
Then you
in the real
shouldn't.
world,
Then,
it's about what you
then
see.
why define them as 8 feet tall?
Exactly. Why not just look like humans?
Why
Wouldn't they
why give
blend
them
in?
why give them these physical attributes and saying that they're shape shifting to be humans when that makes no fucking sense?
Why
Where
not just be
a
humans?
6 foot human walks through a door. If they're supposedly a lizard, wouldn't they be ducking to get through that door?
Right.
Even if there's
Right.
an illusion in place that makes them look like a human, does it also like give them different body animations and like
Right.
make them a totally and they're like totally able to pass through walls? Like what the fuck is going on with their
yeah,
actual
I think that's
form?
probably
Luke,
what's...
I only have one thing to say to that.
I'm just trying to wrap my head
I
around.
only have one thing to say to that.
What's that?
Think about it and stop asking questions.
Exactly.
Just think about
Just
it.
think about it.
Just think about it.
But wait, stop asking questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Just think about it.
yeah. So the whole fourth dimensional thing is like, it's based off of the reasonably well understood scientific concept that there are other dimensions in this universe, right?
They're all packed up. We just can't see them.
Yeah, and in theory they're
You know.
infinite, and that, you know, one point
Right.
in our dimension of this universe will be the same as another point in this dimension or in the next dimension of this universe.
It's like the upside down world in Stranger Things.
That's actually a pretty good metaphor right there. Yeah,
That's basically it.
I like that one.
Yeah. And the reptilians are the fucking gorgoloids or whatever the fuck they're called.
Spoiler alert. I don't
Sorry.
know.
Yeah,
Gorgoloids.
Demigorgons.
Spoiler.
Demogorgons. That's the
There we
one.
go.
Oh, right.
Gorgoloids.
That sounds even worse. Demogorgons.
Yeah,
'Cause
they
like a
should have gone with
demagogue, but,
gorgoloids.
like,
for sure.
that's a weird, like, very... Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, they're
I think
real.
it's from Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, that's
right.
exactly what it's from.
Oh, weird.
Well, I mean, they quote that throughout the
Yeah.
whole damn show.
That's
Really?
where they get all their little info stuff.
Yeah. So
Good show.
apparently the reptilians, they arrived on Earth in the fourth dimension and then entered our own in order to control us, just as they are controlled in their own dimension from beings of the fifth dimension.
Oh.
Isn't the fourth dimension
So it's like
time?
Inception. Yeah,
Isn't
but that's just
time
not
supposed to
talk
be the
about
fourth
that.
dimension?
Yeah.
Sir?
Stop asking questions.
Well, it's like it's basically more like just space time, and there's some funky shit on top.
Right. Okay. So maybe this is actually the fifth dimension.
Yeah.
It's the next dimension.
Yeah, if you want to have a thought stimulation about the fourth dimension, I recommend that you go look up Carl Sagan and
Yeah.
try to find him where he
Never
talks
heard of
about
him.
what
Yeah.
a tesseract is.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like we
I've
can
seen the
portray-
Avengers. I know what a tesseract is.
No, like the real tesseract. And,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
here's the brutal thing is that we can't describe to you here in this format what a tesseract is. The only way that you can kind of get an inkling
It's either
of what it
math
might be
or
is
shadow,
yeah,
right?
either through math or to see a shadow or
But then you still
to
can't see
watch
the
that
object.
Carl Sagan video and have that brilliant mind.
I'm not
try
even
to
going to
explain
ask
it
how
to
the
you.
fuck this thing casts a shadow. Then I'm just
No, the shadow is what it would look like if it
Sir,
was a
you're
real
finally
object.
starting
but
to
the
listen.
It's fucking
Do not ask
not
questions.
the real
Don't-
object.
I'm not even going to ask.
But the thing is, the point is that real dimensions can be like they can be shown in math to exist, but we can't think about them because our brain is
Yeah.
made for running around in the plains and not getting eaten by fucking tigers.
Well, yeah, that's just like, when you put what's a good example? 2 divided by, I think it's 2 divided by 1 divided by 2.
I don't know.
No, that's
Isn't
not
that
right.
one?
No, fuck, no. I'm trying
Well,
to
the
think
thing
of.
is, it's
I'm trying
like
to think of a
radiation,
fraction
dude. You
that
don't
doesn't
see
exist.
radiation, but it sure as fuck is there, and it's gonna kill you if you just sit in it.
No,
Like
I'm-
it's
see,
there.
What I'm
and
trying
you
to think of
can't
here is
see
is a fraction that can't be put into.
right. It's just
it's
like
like an
1.3333.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's just-
one. Fuck, I don't know what it is. There's a mathematical term for these things. Pi is sort of not really one of them.
It's just not it's not like divisible.
God
or whatever.
why can't I think of the term?
I don't think the math is important. The point is that
the point is
it
that
clearly
there
fucking
are
exists.
concepts in math. I think theta could be. I don't know. See, folks, I didn't do well in math. Let's just be honest.
I did
Fuck
terribly in math.
It doesn't even. It's
I like
not
the
even
theory
real.
of math.
I wasn't even
theory of
too
physics
into
and all that, but
science or anything until way after high school.
Yeah.
So this all came later.
But
my point is there are concepts, sort of archetypal concepts in math, which cannot be adequately explained beyond a simple symbol. If you actually try to put them out in equations, then it just doesn't work. But yeah, we're digressing like fuck.
Well, with dimensions though, it's just the cosmic rays, for example, that come from the sun and shoot through the atmosphere and hit the planet. We'll never see them with our eyes. We'll never see a photon, like a light ray or a light little particle, but they fucking exist. Like other dimensions, you can't see them.
They do exist within our dimension, though. So we can detect them with tools and instruments,
and
therefore see them through that. So they
you can indirectly see them.
It's so hard to comprehend something that isn't even part of the dimension. It's it's nuts.
It's kind of.
But yeah, so back to
this Flatland with Carl Sagan. Once you're
that's
on the lower plane, but there are ways of knowing that there are higher dimensions. If you're in Flatland, they put in the thing in the house, and then they know there must be another dimension.
Carl Sagan starts to talk about a tesseract.
You're right. It's just the beginning of explaining how in one dimension you can actually know about another dimension using math. And being clever as fuck.
Yep.
You can deduce another dimension.
So
they're all real and aliens are in them. And
probably. Yeah. So about the reptilians controlling us from the fourth dimension, the logical thought process that I had from this is other people are also suggesting that the reptilians themselves are being controlled from the fifth dimension.
And so on.
And so on. Yeah. And so this is what I'm thinking is logical, is that the fifth dimensional beings are being controlled by the sixth, and then the seventh, and then the eighth, and the ninth. And now, I seem to remember somebody was saying earlier that Alex Jones thinks that there's ninth dimensional beings who are controlling us.
Right.
And I think, okay, so if we follow this line of thought...
If Alex Jones stops at 9, that's where I'm stopping. That's how many dimensions there are.
Yeah.
If we accept this line of thought... then that is not beyond the realm of possibility.
Right.
But why stop at, like you were saying there, why stop at 9? Yeah. Because if there are dimensions, then there must be, if they can ascend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, why stop at 9? That's such an arbitrary number. There must be infinite dimensions. Right.
Well, yeah, some physicists, string theorists, they think that there's 11.
Infinite universes.
Some say 11. Some say there's infinite amount of dimensions.
Why 11? If they can come up with a good explanation for it,
math. Where it's you can no
some
longer...
Some things come down and there just ends up being a limit.
Right. It's why is the speed of light,
it's limited. Why can nothing exceed this fucking speed? What's going on?
It's just
here?
this weird thing. It's the math is just a way of explaining
you'd literally have to bend space.
Or is that perhaps just then, this 11th dimension, is that just perhaps the law of our universe, which prohibits us from ever understanding beyond that? So... Anyways, as a conspiracy theory, the concept, like you were saying earlier, the concept of reptilians originated with a man named David Icke.
Ick.
David Icke. It's I-C-K-E and it's pronounced Ike.
I've been saying ick.
Who has himself tied the theory of the existence of reptilians into a much broader concept spanning from a planetary space array meant to trap our species in a 5-sense prison to the existence of a movement which is led by reptilians disguised as prominent political figures in human society seeking to bring about the so-called New World Order.
Prominent political figures like Justin Bieber.
Exactly, and me.
Well, in a sense,
I'm totally prominent political figure.
Influential.
Totally.
I think if the reptiles are going to come and disguise themselves, they will be famous people, though.
Yeah,
possible.
Politicians, people in control.
Hillary Clinton.
Rich.
If you haven't seen the video of Hillary Clinton's eyes bugging out,
Yep.
and going reptilian
it looks just
shapeshifting,
like,
you need to watch it.
It looks just like the one with Justin Bieber too.
Right.
It's fucking crazy.
So
Right.
and Ike has argued that the Illuminati are in fact reptilians, but hybridized with humans. He interchanges the name Illuminati with Babylonian Brotherhood at times, and that's sort of significant.
Yeah, he thinks that they were actually the Nephilim that were mentioned in the Bible.
Right.
Where it says, I actually have the quote. It's like, when human beings began to increase in number on earth, and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. Then the Lord said, "My spirit will not contend with humans forever, for they are mortal. Their days will be 120 years."
120.
Yeah, he's talking about the Nephilim, I think. And the Nephilim were on earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. So these fucking, like, Nephilim guys were, like, half God. They were, like, half angel or whatever, the gods that came down.
And you know what I say? If it's in the Bible, you better not question it.
Exactly.
So it's all real. It just confirms it, right?
that fucking confirmed it for me,
honestly,
man.
any conspiracy theory, then they bring in the Bible somehow. They just somehow fucking bring in the Bible. Because the Bible talks about a million different fucking things, and you just find a page where it talks about what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, any nonsense in there can line up.
And then the tower fell, and it's like, well, that proves it. It's all real. It's all fucking...
I mean,
and
so
two towers stood. It's like, wow.
It's like,
how many times have
I'm
two
reading it right now.
towers?
I'd just like to say, I am reading the Two Towers right now. It's amazing.
Dude, honestly, the books, if you haven't fucking read The Lord of the Rings, you're missing out.
The second time I read through the whole thing, I started with the Two Towers. I'm sorry, just kind of skipped the first one.
I love the first book.
I like it. What's wrong with you?
I like it, but I had already read it, and it wasn't even. It was only like a couple years before that.
Right.
So I was like, I'm just gonna
only a couple of years.
Yeah. Honestly,
well, do you read them
books.
like every year?
He pretty much does.
Maybe.
he pretty much does. It's like a semi-annual thing, right? Like,
that's just the good one. That's when it really starts to get good, and I like how it's two different stories as well.
Right. I know it shifts back and forth perfectly.
Because I like them both equally.
Yeah. So I think the first book might be my favorite.
Bits were a little bit dull, but hey.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't switch back and forth. It's genuinely
so in the movies
second half.
Does.
Yeah, in the movies it does. In the second half of the book, it's literally all Frodo and Sam.
Yeah.
So and then it does seem a bit anticlimactic after you've just had like Helm's Deep and all that shit just happened.
Yeah. Right.
But it's like, I don't know, that kept me reading. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyways, Ike claims, like we were saying earlier, Ike claims that reptilian hybrids are descended from an alien race which left their homeworld in the constellation of Draco and came to Earth. And all of this is very much up to debate, but hey. So he points to a recurring theme, like you were saying, a recurring theme of a union between non-human race and humans in ancient texts such as Apocrypha, which is that one text which was omitted from the original Bible, or at least the Catholic Bible. I'm a little hazy on the subject there. But he claims to have spoken with witnesses of such reptilians who have exhibited abilities to shape-shift their form. They can change their naturally large, scaly forms into other forms resembling humans, and thus pass undetected.
If they can actually
society.
shrink, then I believe it.
Right.
But that's not what he's saying.
No,
It's some kind of weird optical illusion, apparently.
And here, he said naturally reptilian form, so they're not like a different dimensional being. Yeah. They do exist in this world,
and
they are lizards. They are physical things, but they can also shapeshift. Also, mostly into humans, apparently. Right? So this is David. This is what David Icke is saying.
But it's the same way how we exist in the third dimension, but also have like full control over first dimension.
Right.
So they exist in all four dimensions.
Right.
So let's just think.
The fourth dimension is shapeshifting
about
power.
Dogs.
Right.
Why can't reptilians shapeshift into dogs?
Because they're scared of dogs.
Maybe they are our dogs.
That's true.
Maybe that's what they want us to think.
That's true. Dogs
dog is man's best friend.
Us. Turn that on its head. What is it? Reptiles are real.
Man is dog's best friend.
Exactly.
So reptilians are dogs.
And people actually cats. There
are
theories that
means?
cats are aliens.
Did you say David Icke said they're from the the Draco constellation.
Yeah.
Because it's coming. Both of these things are coming from him. He's also said they're from the Alpha Draconis star system.
I think that might be. Is that
which
the same
is
thing?
in a different constellation. It's in the
Is it?
it's in the
I've
Orion
read that
constellation.
Oh.
So it's either from Alpha Draconis or the
Whoa,
Draco.
David Icke.
As long as it sounds
mixing them
fucking
up.
dragony, I'll just throw it
yeah.
out there like that. Sure, that's where they're from. 'Cause those are very different places in the goddamn universe.
Right. Well,
You
it's
know?
conceivable that they're from, both.
Both, I guess. Yeah. Well, there's supposed to be 20 different species of these fucking things.
Right. We haven't even got started on any of the other shit, like the fucking Nordics, the Greys.
No, we're not going to go
We're
into that too
focusing
much.
on the reptilians because I think they're the ones that we should be most worried about. Even though a lot of UFO encounters and shit, there's a lot of Greys. There's a lot of Greys.
But
there's a lot of Nordics.
According to I think even David Icke, the Greys are subjugated by the Reptilians.
Right.
They're
So
a
maybe
slave
the reptilians
race,
are actually
Right.
from the fifth dimension, and the Greys are from the fourth.
possibly,
I
or
don't
maybe
know.
even just from our dimension, but from another planet.
Yeah.
And they're a subjugated slave race that they've been using to abduct us and mislead us. I guess
Take our life energy.
Yeah, our blood, or gold, or fucking whatever.
Whatever they want.
Whatever,
honestly,
fuck
though,
you. Don't ask questions.
If the aliens really existed, they just go to fucking asteroid and mine anything they wanted. There's like quadrillions
Probably.
of dollars worth of platinum on some random asteroid floating around that
Yeah.
nobody gives a fuck about. Like, there's water out
Gold
there.
is,
There's
is,
everything
is
out there.
quite rare.
Really?
So apparently, yeah, it takes like one hell of a supernova or whatever to make gold.
Right.
So
Right.
it's quite rare, and there's a lot of it on Earth by whatever fucking standard we have.
Right. The thing is, if you can travel from star system to star system, no problem, then like finding gold isn't gonna be
Yeah,
an
exactly.
issue.
You'd be able to find probably a whole fucking planet made of gold
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah,
some,
just go-
some
go an extra 2
massive star
layers.
would shit out a giant planet of gold.
Yeah.
and
That'd
it
be pretty
exploded.
cool, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were saying earlier that that reptilians were represented in ancient statuary, right?
Yeah, from Mesopotamia.
Yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit more. So these representations are basically claimed by and representations and the legends associated with them,
And all these drawings and stuff. Yeah,
etc. Yeah, they're claimed by advocates of reptilian theories to be evidence of their presence in these ancient periods.
before the schism, which is what made them go underground.
Right.
Which is what the Bible refers to as like the Adam and Eve story, or
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
So one supposed representation of reptilians is actually the Anunnaki.
Right.
So that's a completely different
From Nibiru,
sort of-
right? They're from Nibiru.
Samaria, I think.
It's a planet.
The
Oh,
the
that's-
original
that's their
term of
world.
the Anunnaki refers to various gods who were worshipped in Mesopotamia,
Oh, right.
in ancient Mesopotamia.
Right.
So I don't know what.
And they're from planet Nibiru.
Oh,
I think that's the thing. I think that's it.
oh,
Yeah.
From Ancient Aliens.
Which is the 9th planet.
Right.
The one we haven't seen yet.
Right.
Oh.
The unknown, the mystery planet or whatever. It's fucking...
Even though if it was there, you could just check.
Well, the thing is, we can see the gravitational effects of it, but we don't...
yeah. So astronomers actually think there is a 9th planet
even
out
though
there that we
in
haven't
one
discovered
of the
yet.
buildings
Oh,
at
so it
UVic,
has like a crazy elliptical orbit and it just pieces out every once in a while?
it's
really
so
far.
far.
I think I've
It's-
heard about this,
It's
yeah.
like, it's extremely far out. It's like... But I actually saw a thing on the wall in UVic, and it was like refuting that whole claim that scientists thought that there was this extra planet out there.
Probably not that many of them do. It's probably a pretty
I don't know.
fringe
I've
kind
heard
of a theory.
I've heard on Neil deGrasse Tyson's podcast they talked about it. Like it's a pretty common topic.
Black Spaceman.
Yeah. He could be one of the reptiles.
He could be.
Holy.
Except he seems to be
probably
trying to
is.
educate us all. Yeah.
There we go. So another person was suggesting that reptilians may have been at the root of many sort of tales of demons as well, right? So, for example, the ancient Chinese had the belief that the 4 elemental corners of the world, and remember they had this sort of flat, square conception of the world. In an earlier podcast, we were talking about flat Earth. We said that the Western conception was of a disc. The
Right.
Chinese
Plane.
said it was square.
The Atmo plane.
Yes, the Atmo plane. Anyways. For example, the ancient Chinese had the belief that the 4 elemental corners of the world were ruled by the dragon kings, and these were great beings who could shapeshift into human form at will and rode chariots pulled by dragons.
Hillary Clinton.
There you
Sure.
go.
Or the Arabic mythology of this, talking about the jinn.
Right.
They're basically snake-like creatures of smokeless flame.
They're genies.
Right.
Yeah, the term. Yeah, genies is the anglicized version of jinn.
That's based on that. Yeah.
Right.
This is not gin like the drink. It's DJ.
Yeah.
INN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're basically genies. They grant wishes. That's their whole deal.
They're weird, like sand gypsy.
Yeah.
More or less.
Except they're also like dickheads.
Mm.
In
You don't like.
mythology.
They're kind of like scary, right?
Yeah,
They're
it's kind of like a deal with the devil kind of thing, where it's cursed. You fucking
Right.
you get your wish, but it's cursed half the time.
It's like
Fuck
just
yeah.
like meeting an alien.
yeah.
Yep.
You're fucking meeting an alien, but it's gonna probe the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Or
Okay, so
fucking breed you.
So the hybridization of reptilians with humans is said to have occurred in 3 stages, beginning at least 200,000 years ago and finishing approximately 7,000 years ago. This might have been around the time of the schism, as you suggested. This latest stage of breeding programs produce hybrids which are more reptilian than human, and it is these hybrids which now control the Illuminati and thus the world. It is claimed that reptilian hybrids were able to come to dominance in the early civilizations of Mesopotamia and thus the Indus Valley after having migrated out of the Caucasus Mountains, and from there expanded their power in tandem with the expansion of organized society itself. They replicated their early successes by propping themselves up in positions of power and becoming the ruling elite.
As like the heroes of old, men of renown. That's
Exactly.
what it says.
Exactly.
There you go.
And
Bible.
they eventually
It's all
solidifying
in the
their
Bible.
power within structures of tradition, royal families, priestly classes, etc. Heroes of renown, like you were just saying.
The Nephilim.
Yeah,
Planet
basically.
Nibiru.
This also means that these traditional
Hillary
power
Clinton.
structures.
Hillary Clinton.
This also means that these traditional power structures, to this day, are comprised of reptilian individuals descended of bloodlines that came out of the early civilizations.
Right.
And so,
It all goes back to
To-
aliens.
to be a little bit facetious here, that's where I kind of got the idea that maybe I am actually of this reptilian bloodline.
Could be.
Because, yeah.
Apparently, you don't
Yes.
know.
Right.
Except, I guess, the ones that are in really big positions of power. They
And-
must
and they
must
tell
be
you.
aware that they are reptilians controlling the world, feeding off of
Right.
sadness.
Now, if you want to understand what exactly we're talking about here, you're going to have to listen to the next part, because this is the end of the first part. We'll come back in a little bit and
We
talk about
gotta.
the second part.
Yeah. Fucking rights.
Part 2.
Leave your pants off. Fuck yeah.
And like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe. Meathead.